co-host for
Very
today.
true. Yeah.
So, Joseph Wanjiku Dukia.
Very true.
I got it right?
You got it right.
Okay. Tell me about you.
It's so easy because Wanjiku is a simple guy. My name is Wanjiku Joseph. Dukia is just a bonus name for me. I refer to the two. And like I said, I'm a student from Kenyatta University pursuing my master's studies. And I'm here in Greece to partake my internship with the Youth Makers Hub, of which we are here. I was here last year, and due to the love of the great people of Greece, now I'm here for the second year in a row. So that is it. This is me.
Okay, so second year in a row,
Very true.
you are in Greece.
Yeah.
Okay, really interesting. Greek people love you, but I don't think it's the only case because I think you also love Greek people.
Of
Because
course.
you
That's
came
why I
here.
opted to come back.
Okay. We'll make another live discussion only about this topic.
Okay.
So, I have been in Kenya, I know some things, but let's talk more about you. I know that there are tribes. Tell me some more information about you, about which tribe do you belong, because I'm a little bit confused.
Interesting. Kenya is a country found in the East Africa,
Okay.
On the continent of Africa, and we are composed of 47 million according to the 2019 statistics. And among them, we have the Kikuyu, which takes the largest share, which is 17% of the total population. Considering that we are 43 tribes, and Kikuyu making it the largest of it. So that's why today I'm gonna show the people why Kikuyu.
Kikuyu?
Kikuyu, very right.
Kikuyu.
Yes, Kikuyu.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got it right. Really
Okay.
good. So, let's talk about the Kikuyu.
Okay.
Who are these people? Where are they located? We are in East Africa now.
Very
But
true.
let's move a little bit closer to Kenya. Where are they located?
The Kikuyu originally, we came from West Africa. And when we moved during the migration, we came to live in the slopes of Mount Kenya. That's where we settled. And we came in three waves. Some of them came from West Africa direct to Kenya. Some of them came from West Africa to Zaire in Congo, and then to Kenya. And we were one. It was one clan by then, by the name Dagisho. Dagisho. Yes, before the Gikuyu, it was Dagisho. So afterward, after the migration and the splitting, that's when we had the 9 clans of the Gikuyu. But to be true, they are 10. But because the number 10 is about omen among the Kikuyu people, we say the 9 full. In Kikuyu, we say Kedamoihu, to mean all the 9 clans of the Kikuyu tribe. But we say,
So the
welcome.
tribe has 9 clans.
Thank you, that's
Okay,
very true.
I got it.
Okay. And among them, among these 9 tribes, we have the Alasiko. These were the daughters of the Gikuyu. Gikuyu is the father of the tribe. His wife is Mombi. Okay, so the 9 daughters made the 9 clans of the Gikuyu.
Okay.
Yes, it's very
I think I
interesting
get more
story.
clear picture.
Yeah.
And I think that so many people are joining. Welcome Tullius, welcome Samson, welcome Lucy, welcome Artemis. Okay, we have welcome Maria. There are so many. Okay, let's go back. You told me about, we are talking about the Kikuyu, which one of the 43 tribes of Kenya.
Very true on that.
How about the religion in Kikuyu, or you have like one in Kenya? How is it?
Very interesting, Marilena. You find that before the pre-colonial era, most of the African tribes, they used to have their own models of worshiping. Some would worship the idols, the stones, the stars, the moon, etc. But for the Kikuyu people, we used to have one god by the name Ngai. Ngai, of whom we used to believe that he resided on Mount Kenya. Okay, and this Ngai, we used to call him Mwati, to mean the ruler of the tribe. Originally, we are monotheists, believing in just one God, but right now, most of the people have indulged into Christianity. So most of them are Catholics, Protestants, all Anglican. That's the modern religion among us.
Okay, quite interesting. I have been in Kenya and I have tried chapati. I have tried other kind of dishes. Tell me some more things about the food in Kenya, or more specifically in your tribe. Maybe you have different dishes. I don't know.
Very true. We have so many delicacies among our tribe, but the most common one, which everyone knows about, is the githeri. This is a mixture of beans with corn. Corn. I understand.
Yes.
In Greece you have the yellow ones, but we have the white ones.
What do you mean white?
The white, the corns. They are white in color. That's how
Okay,
it is in Kenya. So, and then we have mokimo. This is a mixture of smashed potatoes with beans and the corn, we call it maize, and some vegetables. So those are the most common delicacies, but of course we have the others. Remember, we used to be hunters and gatherers, so meat is of essence. Meat, milk, all of these encompasses whatever we used to consume.
Okay, so you said you are cooking for us tomorrow with this dish.
Of course.
Okay,
of course,
you know, you said it like it's recorded, so you're cooking for us tomorrow. Thank you.
Yes.
So, let's leave the food because people are getting hungry with all these descriptions. And tell me about the economic activities of the Kikuyu people. What are you doing?
The Kikuyu community was very interesting in the beginning. We used to be hunters and gatherers to start with, where we would hunt the deer, the rabbit, etc. But as time moved by, we became more into agriculture. And we used to grow the maize, which was brought by the Portuguese, the cocoa, we used to grow tea also, and we used to do maize, beans, potatoes, and all of this. So the economic activities besides this, because the cattle we used to keep was not enough, we could use it just for barter trade and as a currency, mode of exchange of goods and services.
Exchanging services
with the neighboring communities like the Maasai, the Akamba, or the Ayam. That's how we used to do it.
Okay, so you are really into farming.
Thank you. Yes, we are agriculturalists, but nowadays, most of the Kikuyu people have turned into business, real estate, and owning companies. That's how we operate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before moving, keep sending. I will go through the questions that you have for Joseph when we finish with the questions I have for him.
Okay.
So we talked about the background of your tribe, the religion. You told us about the agricultural delicacies that you have.
Okay.
How about the political authority as Kikuyu are concerned?
The political situation among the Kikuyu tribe was very funny. We didn't have chiefs. What we had is a council of elders whom were chosen among the eldest age sets among the society. Those old people, we regarded them to have wisdom. That's why we would choose them to lead us. And we were patriarchal, meaning men were the leaders of the clan. Not only that, we are also more into that our society was based on hierarchy. From the top to the bottom, the man, the woman, the children, and the goats. So that's how it used to be. And then if you look at the Agikuyu people, moving from the background up to date, they have been involved more so in the political scenarios of our country. Good in time, a good example is the Jomo Kenyatta, who is the first president of our country. And now the president we have, Uhuru Kenyatta, the son of the first president. That's how politically we are active in our society.
Okay, so father, then the son.
It's very interesting.
Okay, it reminds me of something, but we're not here to talk more about politics. That's not the point of this live.
Okay.
But it's quite interesting to see how is the situation on this field in other countries, and specifically for Africa. One last question I have for you before we go to the questions from our lovely audience.
Okay.
Tell me more about the rite of passage regarding Kikuyu.
Like any other normal society in Africa, we used to follow, I think, the same sequence of rites of passage. We start with birth, and this in birth we used to have naming process, where if you are born by you are twins, then you are given accorded different names. If you are born like triplets, and then we start naming from the father's family.
Okay, so you take the name
from the father side before we move to the mother. That was the first stage of rites of passage. But the next one was initiation, or you can call it circumcision. We used to do circumcision in terms of groups. We take young boys during a certain period of the year, we take them to the forest for the rituals. And when they move from there, 1 month thereabout, they form the age groups. And these age groups, they used to form the warriors who would defend the community. And from this second rite of passage, we move to the third one, the most important, of course, marriage. And under marriage, the Gikuyu person, the parents used to choose for the bride, whoever lady they would like to marry. But we needed to do an investigation on the clan of this lady before we could call to invite them in our family. And the last one, which is so common, is death. And death was accorded various ceremonial activities depending on the cause of death. You are drowning or you are sick. So if at all, for example, it was leprosy, then we would take you to the forest, you'll be eaten by the jackal. It was used to be very fantastic.
Okay, it's quite interesting because I can see some common things like between these 4 stages with Greece and what is happening. But regarding the last point of death, so depending the cause of the death, you have a different treatment on your funeral.
Very true.
Okay, that's quite interesting. That was a snapshot.
It's a snapshot.
I will not go through more questions that I have a lot. Even though I see you every day, every time that we are talking about Kenya and your culture, there are more and more questions. So let's go to some questions that we have from our audience. Let's see what we have here. Thanks for the backstage that's sending us the questions. So we have a question for Joseph from Panos Papayon. What does the African Union mean to a young African male? Do you feel connected to the African Union?
As per now, I would say we are not yet connected so much because African Union is a whole thing, and considering Africa, we are divided among various countries. So it's so difficult for its impact to reach down. That's how it is. We are not yet connected, I would say.
I think I have shared a similar answer from many African friends of mine that they don't have so much connection yet. Let's go. An interesting question. This comes from Sumara. Are you allowed to marry more than one wife in your tribe?
Very true. We are allowed. Polygamy was a common thing among the African society. We are allowed as long as you are able to feed them. But in some scenarios, you are allowed to marry more people if they are vulnerable and you want to help them. For example, if you are rich and other families are poor, then you are allowed to marry them just as a way to uplift them.
Quite interesting.
Very interesting, for sure.
It's I think a different perspective and what applies, but it's really interesting to know what is happening. So let's see the next. Are you married? Tell us to our audience. I think they are interested not only about your, but more specifically for you. Are you married?
Say, no, I'm not married currently, but I'm seeing someone.
Okay, you heard it. He's seeing someone. I don't know what it means, but he's not married. So we are waiting for your messages, kids. So another question from Emodia. I would like to hear about bride wealth among the Akikuyu. How is this done?
The bride, the payment of dowry, call it dowry.
Okay.
This one depends. Mostly, like we said, we were agriculturalists, so we used to pay our bride price in terms of whatever we get. a cow, the goat, the sheep, a donkey, or even crops, the beans, the meat. That's how we used to do after the negotiation by our elders. And the family would determine the amount of things that they require.
Okay, so you have to give something
For
to
you
the
to
parents of the bride.
Yes, very true.
Okay, interesting.
You like to know more?
So, you know what will happen? He's not married. So, but you know what will happen? Let's see. I think the snapshot for Kikuyu culture, the time is done.
Are you sure? It was very
Yes.
short. It was very
Yeah,
short.
that's why it's a snapshot.
Thank you so much.
Asante sana,
Karibu sana.
Rafiki Mzuri.
Mzuri, you are right. You are
Okay,
doing
I'm
very
trying
great.
with
Very
my
great.
Swahili. It was really nice to having you.
Okay.
I want to watch our audience and say your last sentence either in Greek or in Swahili.
So my great people there, asanteni sana kwa kuhudhuria leo and muradhimu muno. That's it.
I hope it was something nice. I didn't understand what you
Very
said.
nice, very nice.
Okay, so thank you.
Thank you so much.